What the heck is going on with this boys basketball team, Grant? I thought we were going to win the national championship after Houston, and now it looks like we might not make it to the NIT. What's going on, Grant?
They are a hard team to figure out because they can be that team that can go blow for blow against Houston, which is a very, very good basketball team and a tough team to beat, or they can be a team that finds a million different ways to lose on the road at Syracuse Tuesday night against what's a pretty average Syracuse team. So the ceiling's very high, I think, and I think the floor could be very low, but it feels like they're just kind of in a feeling out process still, trying to find kind of who they are and what they want to be. Like, everybody knows the identity of Tennessee basketball is physicality and defense and, toughness, and they're going to be the team that plays the hardest that night. I think with the last few years, you had guys that were part of the program for multiple years, like a Zakai Ziegler or Jemai Mashak, who helped establish that identity regardless of how much the rest of the roster overturned. And you lose a couple guys like that, and it feels like they're still trying to figure themselves out, figure out what they're going to be. I think they can be a very good basketball team, but they're at a tough point in the schedule right here where they got a lot of tough games, and they're going to have to kind of adjust on the fly and figure it out on the fly against some really good competition.
What's the number one thing that's the biggest concern that need to be fixed, and then what's the best thing that this team does right now?
Best thing that it does, it has depth and it has a lot of options, and they've gone a lot of different ways about being successful with whether it's Jaylen Carey or Nate Ament or Jacoby Gillespie. They can do it in a bunch of different ways. It's just about finding out how you're going to do that consistently and who's going to do it and performing consistently at a high level. The challenges have been, it looked like turnovers were a problem early in the season, then it looked like they cleaned those up in Las Vegas. Then their turnovers are an issue again at Syracuse. And we were talking to Jacoby Gillespie before practice today, and he's talking about maybe it's just like a lack of concentration or focus or details or whatever. Like, you don't want to hear that 10 games in. We're a third of the way through the schedule at this point, just about. The regular season schedule, and you need to be able to know that the concentration is going to be there, that the focus is going to be there, the stuff that you control is going to be there. So that's the stuff that they have to fix immediately. Rick wasn't happy with the first three possessions against Kansas, and they built a 12-point lead in the second half, but he called that fool's gold because they weren't doing what they were supposed to do, and it came back to bite them the way that game ended. And then it just looked like against Syracuse they got off to a slow start, and they never really recovered from there. So they're going to have a higher level of focus, details, all that stuff that takes to play high-level basketball.
We're talking to Grant Ramey from VolQuest.com. Tennessee practicing today, getting ready for Illinois tomorrow night in Nashville. We know that Nate Ament has to have a big season for Tennessee to live up to its potential as a team. What has stood out to you and what Rick Barnes has said about Tennessee's star freshman, the approach they've taken with him as he had a tough night against Syracuse a few days ago?
What he said after the game is I think has been pretty much the consensus that what you did in high school, you're not going to be able to do at this level. You're around talented players that are just as talented as you. You have better talent surrounding you. The size and the physicality that you're facing is certainly at a different level, and he's trying to, I think, still walk that line of pressing, but not pressing too much, of trying to be as productive as he can without forcing it too much. Obviously, Jacoby Gillespie can score. Jaylen Carey has played really, really well the last week. Like, they have different guys. JP Estrella has been really good in the post when he's been available. Like, there's a lot of different ways this team can go about it. And for Nate, it's about finding how to do it within the flow of the offense, without forcing it, without trying to do too much, without, don't be too passive at the same time. I think it's still very much a filling out process because he's got so many options, because it feels like he can score it at all three levels. He can get to the foul line a ton. It's just about, the looks. He had a couple turnovers at Syracuse Tuesday night where one ball just goes off his hands and out of bounds, and a couple possessions later he steps on the out of bounds line right there in front of the Tennessee bench. So it's stuff like that where he's going to have to slow down a little bit, calm down, find out where he finds himself, I guess, in the flow of this offense to where he can be productive without feeling like he's forcing it.
What's clicked for Jaylen Carey? He seemed like a guy that maybe was in a doghouse a little bit, or maybe he was just trying to get used to everything that was different being at Tennessee, and then boom, he has been dominant in the paint versus improved and tougher competition in the last couple of games.
I think there's been a need there because JP Estrella's been a little bit slow because Felix Okpara hasn't done a ton at this point in the season because Cade Phillips has not done a ton at this point in the season. There was just a need for somebody to feed the ball down. Like Rick Barnes wants to play basketball inside out. Like he wants a post feed on every possession. That's how he wants to start possessions. And with Jaylen's physicality and how he can finish around the rim, the touch he's got, I mean, he can move guys out of the way like we saw at Syracuse the other night, like we saw last week in Las Vegas. And Tennessee knew what they were getting in Jaylen because of how well he played against Tennessee in Vanderbilt's 2 games last season. It was just a matter of getting him here and getting that established. And it's kind of like Nate, where you're just kind of trying to find where you are in the flow of the offense and all that stuff. It feels like he's establishing that. And it's been a huge week for him. It's been a huge week. Tennessee very much needed that kind of production in the post, and they very much need that to continue and to be there consistently.
What is the latest with JP Estrella?
Limited participant in practice today. He kind of went back and forth between doing some team stuff, doing some individual stuff, getting the ankle worked out on the side. He was back in the knee brace that he had been wearing after suffering that knee injury against Rice a couple of weeks ago. So I think maybe questionable might be the status for tomorrow night against Illinois. I think his official status is day-to-day. But I thought, based on what he did today, it looks like maybe a better chance that he's available against Illinois because I don't think he practiced Monday before they went to Syracuse on Tuesday. So a possibility that he plays, but it's also one of those things where you're trying to get him healthy and not rush it, but you could have used him Tuesday night against Syracuse. You'll be able to use him for sure against Illinois Saturday night.
What can Tennessee fans expect from this Illinois team?
A bunch of last names that are hard to pronounce, hard to spell. A classic Brad Underwood team, very, very tough, very, very skilled. A lot of what you saw the last couple of years against Illinois. Those are some really, really high-level, intense games between Tennessee and Illinois over the last couple of years in that home they played. It's good, obviously, for Tennessee that it's in Nashville, that it's going to be a home crowd. It's not a home game, but it should feel like a home game for Tennessee. And Tennessee's trying to avoid losing 3 in a row since, I think, November 2023 when they went to Maui, and then they came back home and went to North Carolina. So Tennessee's got a lot to prove. It's going to be a really tough competition. I think Illinois has lost twice. They lost to UConn last Friday at Madison Square Garden. That's the last time they played. They've been off since then, and they lost to Alabama in Chicago a couple weeks ago at the United Center. So it's going to take some high-level basketball to beat them.
Grant Ramey, Volquest.com is where you can read his work. Big game tomorrow night with the Tennessee Volunteers taking on Illinois in Nashville. Neutral site game, then a 10-day break before Louisville. So Tennessee is in the middle of a big stretch. You can read his work, Volquest.com. And good luck to both of you guys. Swain, Grant, with the Packers this upcoming weekend.
We're going to need it, man. It's going to be super cold, and the game is at Lambeau, so I mean, we don't really win there.
It's going to be 3 hours of torture.
Yeah.
Hey, you took it to the Eagles last week. No problem.
Hey, that game.
That was the Eagles.
That game made me change my cynicism a little bit because we had beat up on some bad teams, but it's still the Eagles. It's still Philadelphia, and they went in there and ran for whatever it was, 282.
We beat the Packers. I'm going to wear some Bears gear next week. I haven't worn any Bears gear yet.
That's the thing. Like, your wardrobe doubles because you're not afraid to wear it out of the house. Like, you can have some pride.
Yeah.
Yeah, the benefits of fan success. Not embarrassed publicly. So good luck this weekend. Swain was the same way. After that Eagles win, he's like, hey,
we
just went out a little bit more.
We got something here.
For sure.
Yeah,
hey, Grant, safe travels to you. Thanks for the time, as always, and we'll talk to you again soon.
See you, boys. Go Bears.
There you go. Grant
Go
Ramey.
Bears.